It's Halloween weekend, but it's Stranger Things Eve. It's Happy Thursday. Welcome to Comic Book Now. What's up, Comic Book Nation? Welcome. Happy Thursday. Comic Book Now. The show goes on every Thursday. I'm joined. Charlie Ridgely's here. I'm Brandon Davis. Call me BD. Guys, we have an exciting show. The Walking Dead is back.
Yeah, finally.
Charlie wants to talk about Gotham, so I think we'll do that a little bit. Charlie's very excited about the new episode. Really cool stuff. I went out to the Walking Dead premiere this weekend, and we have some footage from that, which was a lot of fun. I hope you guys watched it. But first of all, hot topic right now. Deathstroke movie is coming. Or, I mean, it might be coming. It's one of many movies that may or may not be coming. How many movies, Charlie? 18.
18 DC movies in development.
There are 18 DC movies in development. Aquaman.
Okay.
Shazam. Wonder Woman 2. Green Lantern Corps. Flashpoint. The Batman. Man of Steel 2. Batgirl. Gotham City Sirens. Suicide Squad 2. Justice League. Dark Nightwing. Black Adam. Joker. Joker Origins. Booster Gold. And now Deathstroke.
I'm really impressed that you just knew all those off the top of your head.
Yeah, totally.
It's not like they were there for you to read or anything. That was really impressive. I'm really proud of you for that. But this is a lot.
So my question is now, let's even say all of these movies come out in the next 4 years. Which, if they're all good, I think there's an easy answer. But is this too much? If they're all great movies and they don't kind of crowd the market, oversaturate it, nobody's going to complain. I mean, how many comic books do people buy every Wednesday when they come out? People spend their whole paychecks on comic books. To get great movies would be no problem. But the thing is, DC movies, I feel like maybe we need to focus a little bit.
Yeah, and that's where we get really caught up in the term in development. In development means that there is some form, like Booster Gold, for example, is nothing more than a script in progress.
Right.
They've accepted the fact that someone's writing a script and that they're working on it actively.
Exactly.
But there's other movies like Wonder Woman 2 that have a director and a star and are moving in another direction. There's movies like Aquaman that are almost finished. So they're all in that kind of stage. So if we see all these movies, which I would assume we're not going to, it would be over the course of 10 years that we see all these come to life. And I mean, some of them are more exciting than others. Like Deathstroke has a really cool team. I mean, Gareth Evans, who directed The Raid, is apparently attached to direct.
And I mean, I'm a big Joe Manganiello guy.
I love
big
Joe.
Fan of Joe.
So
the thing is, I like the idea. Reese Williams just left in the comment section. Reese, loyal viewer, thanks for joining us every Thursday, buddy. They want to know. He wants to know: is this part of the DCEU?
Yeah.
Now that's a question in everybody's mind.
Right.
I don't care if it is, to be honest with you. I love the DCEU. I love to have things connected because Marvel Studios started this. All the movies are connected. It makes you have to go see the other movies. That's probably part of why they kill it at the box office because you don't want to miss out. How is this setting up the next Avengers movie? I feel like the DCEU spent too much time getting caught up in that early on. But I think the standalone movies is actually a really good idea because a standalone, while I don't really care for a Joker Origins movie, the idea of standalone Batman movies or standalone Superman movies or a standalone Deathstroke movie that has these Elseworld movies, like you could do Kingdom Come, have different actors play them, and they have no effect on the greater DCEU. That gives you, then you get the Dark Knight trilogy with a different, it doesn't have to be Batman. It could be a completely isolated character that is unrelated to the DCEU. You don't have to, and as much as we love Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman, we don't have to have her as one. We can have another Wonder Woman telling really awesome Wonder Woman stories.
We can have all kinds of different things, and something we talked about a couple of weeks ago was that the DCEU is changing. Like what we think of as the DCEU now is not going to be the DCEU going forward. It's not going to be cemented like that. It's not going to be everything building towards the Justice League, not everything building toward the next team-up movie. They're all going to exist in conjunction with one another. Some will be more standalone, some won't be, but it's going to be a very different formula going forward. I think a lot of these movies are going to have their own identity. Like with Deathstroke, we're going to see a Gareth Evans action movie. Aquaman, we're going to see something different.
All right, now we have to wrap this up. But before we do, I want to ask you, out of the 18 movies in development, if you could pick 3 of them to actually get made, Aquaman doesn't count because it already wrapped. Justice League doesn't count; it's already on the way.
Let's take Wonder Woman 2 off the table too, because that's 100%.
Sure,
happening.
We'll take Wonder Woman.
We all know that's coming. We all know we want to see it.
So then we have 15 titles still to choose from. Which 3 of those DC titles, whether they're DCEU or standalone, would you really want to see?
I mean, I have to put Deathstroke in there because of Joe is attached and because of Gareth Evans as a potential director. I have to put that one in there. Green Lantern Corps, I think it could be really, really cool, even though the Ryan Reynolds movie wasn't great. I think that that's a really cool, especially because we're doing 2 of them. And, not Flashpoint. Justice League Dark.
Yeah.
I love those characters. I love Deadman. I love Constantine. Like, I love horror stuff.
I knew you'd pick Justice League.
I really want to see that. All right, what about you?
For me, I'm going to disagree with you. I want to see a Flashpoint movie. I think they have to earn it. I think they have to get there. I'm not saying I want to see Flashpoint in the next 2 years because I don't. I want to get to know these characters first so the stakes feel real and we know what we're getting with a Flashpoint movie. We know what's at stake.
Do you still want to see it if it's not Jeffrey Dean Morgan as Thomas Wayne?
Yes,
Okay.
Well,
okay. I didn't know if he was the draw for you.
I'll tell you something. I didn't even think of that when I said Flashpoint. Now you just furthered my desire. I want to see. You don't cast Jeffrey Dean Morgan as Thomas Wayne unless you're going to make him Batman. Dude, bring Negan to life. Have him Lucille somebody. I don't care. Man of Steel 2.
Okay.
Matthew Vaughn.
If Matthew Vaughn gets attached to it, I have a very, my list changes because Matthew Vaughn's brilliant.
Yeah, I tried to talk to him about that at the Kingsman junket.
Yeah.
He didn't want to talk about it too much, but he has good ideas for it. A lot of hope, a movie about Superman saving people. I'm all in. And then I'm kind of toss up. I really like the idea of a Nightwing movie, and we know that's coming, but I also really like the Black Adam movie because I like The Rock. So either one of those.
Yeah.
I think Nightwing is the better choice. Look, I love you, Dwayne, but I think Nightwing's just a more fun movie. But
I'm with you.
Let us know which of those movies you guys want to see in the comment section, please, Comic Book Nation. But one thing we don't have to wait for much longer, Stranger Things 2. The second season comes out on Netflix tonight. Sometime in the morning.
Hours from now.
Get excited for it. But if you can't wait that long, you got to kill the next few hours in anticipation. Here are the 10 best movies Stranger Things fans should watch.
After over a year of waiting, fans are so close to getting the highly anticipated second installment of the cultural phenomenon that is Stranger Things. What's up, guys? I'm Chris Killian with Comicbook.com, and we're talking about the Netflix series that served as a love letter to all things 80s. It was a massive hit that took everyone by surprise, and anyone who grew up reading Stephen King and watching films by Steven Spielberg or John Carpenter felt right at home with the investigative quartet of kids. So to help tide you over until Stranger Things 2 arrives, I'm going to recount the many 80s films that inspired the Duffer Brothers and list off the 10 best movies all Stranger Things fans should watch. Starting off our list is Sam Raimi's horror classic, The Evil Dead. Out of everything on my list, the Duffer Brothers take very little, if any, elements from The Evil Dead, but there's still a very clear fondness for the horror in this movie, especially since the poster is hanging in Jonathan's room while the monster is creeping behind the wall. For number 9, I've got David Cronenberg's Scanners. The 1981 sci-fi horror movie features a top-secret company that attempts to locate people who have telekinesis and telepathy in order to use them for their own evil corporate deeds. Sound familiar? While 11 doesn't get quite as gory as Scanners does, no exploding heads here, when she uses her mind to blow up people's brains, it's still not a pretty sight. Number 8 is John Carpenter's 1988 B-movie classic, They Live. While the awesome Stranger Things intro music should probably remind you of every amazing synth score from every John Carpenter movie ever, I went with They Live mostly thanks to the giant government conspiracy angle. Plus, the alleyway fight between Jonathan and Steve is clearly inspired by Roddy Piper and Keith David's throwdown in They Live. If you need another Carpenter movie example, you can't go wrong with The Thing, which Mike just so happens to have a poster of in his basement. Number 7 is A Nightmare on Elm Street. Call it a hunch, but I bet Freddy Krueger would probably find the Upside Down quite cozy. Like Freddy, the Stranger Things monster seems to be far more powerful in its own world. And also, taking a tip from A Nightmare on Elm Street, whenever Eleven ventures to the Upside Down, she needs a dependable pal to pull her out when things get too hairy. And number 6 is Firestarter. If there's one lesson that the Duffer Brothers clearly learned from the 80s, it's beware of the destructive powers of angry telekinetics, and they don't get much more destructive than young Drew Barrymore did in the cult Stephen King adaptation. While we could have gone with Carrie, the similarities between Eleven and Charlie seem more obvious. They're close to the same age, they're both scientifically experimented on, and both movies feature some nosebleeds when telekinetic powers are about to do some major damage. Number 5. Stand By Me. The Duffer Brothers clearly have such an affinity for Stephen King's coming-of-age novella The Body and its adaptation Stand By Me that they actually had the young actors all audition using lines from it. While there's no supernatural elements at play here, the plot of Rob Reiner's Stand By Me is centered around 4 young friends who go searching for their missing friend, the very thing that Stranger Things does such a great job replicating. In the fourth spot is Alien. Okay, so Alien technically isn't an 80s movie, but the sequels are, and there's no denying the many traits that the faceless creature shares with the xenomorph from Ridley Scott's sci-fi horror classic. First, there's that sticky residue that the creature uses to trap its victims. There's lots of goo in the Upside Down. Also, the creature pretty much uses humans as incubators, impregnating Will with a slug-like creature in similar fashion to Alien's facehuggers. Number 3, E.T. Oh man, it would be quicker if I recounted everything in Steven Spielberg's 1982 classic that Stranger Things didn't borrow. Where do I even begin? Kids on bicycles, Mike hiding Elle from his mom the way Elliot hid E.T., government agents in hazmat suits, the blonde wig that Eleven wears to disguise herself. These are just the tip of the iceberg, and if Stranger Things featured an alien instead of a monster, this might as well have been considered an E.T. reboot. Coming in at number 2, The Goonies, another story that was crafted by, surprise, Steven Spielberg. The Goonies are the benchmark against which all other similar films are measured, so if you love movies about funny kids with imagination, then you probably don't need me to introduce you to The Goonies. While the situation in Stranger Things is a little more dire, the group looking for their missing friend instead of a buried treasure, the fun, adventurous tone is still very much intact. For example, even though he doesn't drop a truffle shuffle, Dustin Henderson is every bit as adorable as Chunk was in The Goonies. And finally, the film you absolutely have to watch if you're a Stranger Things fan, Stephen King's It. Though the Duffer Brothers clearly weren't inspired by the recent reboot since it came out after Stranger Things and all, they were probably inspired by the novel the movie is based upon, and you can't get more coming-of-age kids versus evil entity than It. Bonus, Finn Wolfhard, who plays Mike on Stranger Things, even shows up as Richie, the scene-stealing member of the Losers Club, so now you kinda have to watch it. I hope this helps you keep your 80s nostalgia in check until Stranger Things 2 gets here. Let me know in the comments what your favorite movie is on this list, and let me know what you think I left off. Go check out some more of our videos, and most importantly, thanks for watching.
Thank you, Chris Killian. Guys, disclaimer in case you disagree with that list, Chris did say Anchorman 2 is better than Anchorman 1. Although I do agree with a lot of that list. I gotta say, good choices by Chris, but disagree with the Anchorman call. But now, let's talk about the news. Let's actually have a little debate, all right, guys? I want you all to weigh in below in the comment section, as the Comicbook.com office today was very, very much divided. The question today, the great debate, who is a better Batman, Christian Bale or Ben Affleck? I could see the keyboard starting on fire.
Oh, man.
People are dropping their comments in here. Here we go. The responses across Twitter have been very divided. Yeah. So, Charlie, what are your thoughts here?
It's really hard to answer this question because I feel like I would have had a different answer months ago. I mean, you guys know, and you know, like I love BVS. Like, even though I understand its flaws, I love the movie, and I've stood by that. I think Ben Affleck was such a good Batman. I thought he was the best Batman after BVS, but I have to go with Bale now because
nothing has happened since BVS.
But a lot has happened since BVS.
A trailer?
'Cause I don't think that the only thing that makes you a good Batman is just your performance on the screen. I think that Ben Affleck gets knocked for me because he is not owning Batman. We talked about it a few weeks ago, how he's going to Comic-Con, he's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna be baby. He's being really weird, complaining about it. He is not invested in this. Like, all of us nerds want our Batman to be invested.
This is me crossing out your
on top of that, you mentioned trailers. I watched the Justice League trailers and I'm excited about Justice League. He is the thing I'm least excited for. He looks so just, oh, you know, I'm rich. Like, everyone else looks really excited to be there and really pumped, and he just like kind of looks a little out of it.
I'm hearing it, but I'm completely disagreeing with it. First of all, your Batman performance does end with the movie. I don't care what you do.
You own that.
Second of all, even if you do include that, did Christian Bale's Batman exist in a time where social media was so prominent? No, it did not, Charlie. Christian Bale did not have to deal with constant tweets, constant interviews, and constant media where he's directing his own movie, and all anybody wants to talk to him about is Batman.
He's not directing his own movie. Where's it at?
My point is that Ben Affleck, yeah, The Accountant, Live by Night, he directed those movies. He was excited.
How well did those movies do?
He was excited to do those movies, but every time he did a press event, he had people like you crapping all over him. Not like me.
I wouldn't. No.
You just crapped all over it. Charlie just crapped all over it.
I did now.
And he had
social. I did now.
Charlie, you're agreeing with my point. You are being the social media monster that has stressed Ben Affleck out to the point he's got Barack Obama gray hair after just 4 years.
By
and this poor guy,
Ben Affleck this entire time.
I love Christian Bale's Batman. I love
San Diego.
Christian Bale's Batman is fantastic. Ben
San Diego
Affleck's
ruined
Batman is the best Batman. I saw Michael Keaton in the comments. That's a great Batman. Christian Bale's Batman trilogy is fantastic. Through one movie, Batman vs. Superman may have its flaws. Ben Affleck was the best part, even with Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman in it. Ben Affleck's Batman was fantastic.
I can't. I love Ben Affleck. I love him as Batman,
Started the
but
fire.
I can't. Gal Gadot was the best part of that movie.
I see,
her showing up, her song, and she did that was the best part of that whole movie.
Hans Zimmer and Junkie XL made that song, not Gal Gadot.
I just mean
she
Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman coming in was the best part of that movie.
What's the performance? From the first time you see Batman in Batman vs Superman, he's up in the corner.
Dude,
he's perched.
I agree. I think
it was
it's
the
cool.
coolest thing. He was the best Batman.
I agree.
Let me see.
But he ruined it.
Michael Kupek
ruined
says,
it.
"Shut up." I think he's talking to you, Charlie.
think he's
Steve
talking to you,
Aragonis
'cause
says,
you were talking.
"Facts." Steve, I see you. Thanks for the agreement. Wim is glad that I'm on it. That we're both on it. I don't know.
Your mom agrees with you.
My mom. Hey, shout out Michelle Davis. Thank you in the comment section. All right, we have to move on, guys. Let us know in the comment section. Send us tweets at Charlie Ridgely. Tell him he's wrong. At Brandon Davis BD.
Tell him he's wrong, because you know.
But anyway, November is on the horizon, guys, which means Thor Ragnarok and Ben Affleck in Justice League. They're both getting closer. Thor already opened overseas to $12.8 million. And now the tracking numbers for both films' domestic hauls are in. These are estimations here. Ragnarok bumped up to $125 million after that opening. And Justice League is currently expected to nab between $110 and $120 million. Charlie, I think we're going to have to do it again here. Which one do you think is going to make more money? Opening weekend only.
Okay.
We're not going to bet a triple X tattoo on this one.
Time out. So just opening weekend.
Opening weekend, which movie makes more money?
Just domestic box office.
Just domestic.
Ugh.
I'll put mine on the table. You want me to go first this time?
No, I'll go first. I'm confident in my pick. I think that opening weekend, it's Thor Ragnarok. Because I think that maybe in its entire run, I think the Justice League will surpass it, because people are going to be going out to see it. Because the Justice League, we've never had the Justice League together in a movie before.
Right.
But Thor Ragnarok's going in with so much momentum. Everyone's talking about this movie in a positive way. It's got, what, a 99% on Rotten Tomatoes? Mm-hmm. And everybody knows the characters. People are really liking Taika Waititi. It looks fun. It's more accessible to a wider audience that doesn't know comics. And I think people are going to flock to the theaters for it. I think when Justice League comes out, it's going to be a slower burn.
The thing is, this isn't a question of better movie. Even if Thor Ragnarok turns out to be the much better movie, which it sounds like you're expecting it to be, that means Justice League's slower burn argument won't be the case.
No, I'm not even saying that. I was actually arguing the opposite.
I want to throw a couple numbers at you.
If you let me finish, I was arguing the opposite.
Well, all right, let's hear it.
I'm saying that people aren't going to go initially because they're going to be scared from what they've seen so far in the DC, and it's not going to be this exciting thing right off the bat. But they're going to hear good things. They're going to want to see it, and they're going to wait till it's not going to be opening weekend. I think that Justice League's going to make more money in its entire run, but I think that Thor Ragnarok will have the better opening weekend because it's going to take longer for people to get attached to Justice League.
I think what you're saying though is you think Thor Ragnarok already has great reviews.
I think the hype train is in Thor Ragnarok's
So what you're saying is Justice League might get really good reviews, which will help it.
I think that'll help it, sure,
right,
but I think that the whole MCU behind
I want to throw a couple numbers out real quick.
Some advantage.
Thor 2, Thor the Dark World, didn't get great reviews. $85 million opening weekend. Batman vs. Superman didn't get great reviews. $166 million. The Avengers, great reviews the first time we had an ensemble. $207 million. I think Justice League exceeds the $120 million expectation. And especially if it has good reviews. I don't think it will be a slow burn. I think it'll be a big hit at the box office because, first of all, any press is good press, really. That's not to an extent. To an extent, Justice League is getting a lot of attention. Let us know which movie you think is going to make more in the comment section. I think Justice League. Charlie, what's today? October 26th. We will revisit this episode of Comic Book Now on November, whatever comes after the 17th, and we'll see who was right. But speaking of Justice League, the runtime has finally been revealed, and ask any of the fanboys out there, 2 minutes make a huge difference, apparently. The original reports claimed Justice League would be 121 minutes long, which somehow infuriated fans because I saw a bunch of tweets from people with Batman as their profile picture, and they were saying that's not long enough. Now, the runtime is 119 minutes, making it 2 minutes shorter than what already pissed people off, so I think that's certainly twisting the knife Miranda Tate style a little bit more for all those people crying out, I need more than 2 hours. So what do you think, guys? Is that okay? The Walking Dead returned on Sunday night, and 11.2 million people tuned in to see Rick Grimes take his shot as Negan, and he missed. It all led to Father Gabriel getting left behind and apparently captured by Negan in a trailer. But some Some are speculating Gabriel might be a mole for Negan, and that's how he's going to survive. Wouldn't be the first time he betrayed Rick, but I'm still not buying it. Seth Gilliam, I'm looking at you. Either way, the war has finally begun, and every character was featured in the episode directed by Greg Nicotero. It featured a whole bunch of timelines, every timeline you could think of, apparently, and apparently some dream sequences as well. Having seen this Sunday's episode 802, I got to watch 802, Charlie and I both have. I can tell you the timelines will start to become a little more clear, which is going to be the theme through the season. But trust me when I say you do not want to miss this episode, nor do you want to miss Hour After the Dead show immediately following The Walking Dead on Sunday night. It is big. Both The Walking Dead is a big episode. Our After the Dead show is a big. I have never been so excited about After the Dead. I know we go up against Talking Dead. We are live on Facebook. We will share it to Comicbook.com. You can watch on The Walking Dead on Comicbook.com's Facebook page. I've never been so excited. I know I say I'm excited all the time. This is different.
I've never seen Brandon as excited as he was when we watched this episode this week. At the end of this Sunday's episode, oh yeah, I almost told you. There was one moment that set you off. And he was jumping up and down, wheezing with excitement. I kid you not. I wish I had a video of that because I would post it right now.
I do too.
It's going to be crazy.
Yeah.
It's going to be crazy.
But another exciting thing that happened for me, I can't spoil anything for you guys, but we got to go to The Walking Dead's episode 100 premiere at the Greek Theater in Los Angeles, California last weekend. It was a lot of fun. I caught up with the cast and crew of the show, and I played a little game with them. Check this out. What's up, Daddy's BD here on the red carpet for The Walking Dead's 100th episode premiere in Los Angeles, California. Looking back at the 99 episodes that have already aired, I really miss Shane Walsh, guys. So you know what? I wanted to play a little game of whose line is it anyway? Rick Grimes or Shane Walsh? How many of you do I have to kill to save your lives?
Rick.
That's Rick. I think you were there for that one.
Rick.
Shane.
Rick. In Alexandria.
Oh, right. Just know that I'm currently working on the last couple episodes.
I don't know.
You know, we're getting fear going. There's a lot going on.
Yeah.
My brain is
not
too sharp.
Excuses before we began.
I was thinking, how many of you do I have to kill to save your lives?
That was Rick.
Oh, it's Rick.
Is that a Shane?
Shane.
That sounds like a Shane.
That's Rick Grimes.
That's Rick Grimes?
He became Shane, man.
Okay.
I know this sounds insane, but this is an insane world.
That's Rick. It's rough when you're quoting me lines I've written and I'm not sure. But
See, that sounds like Rick.
That sounds like a Shane.
I know this sounds insane, but this is an insane world.
Pretty sure that's in an episode you directed.
It is.
that sounds like Rick.
That's Rick Grimes.
Okay,
50%. The right choice is the one that keeps us alive.
Shane.
3 for 3, man. You know your stuff. I'm impressed. I'm buying it.
Rick.
It ain't hard, man. The right choice is the one that keeps us alive.
Early seasons, Shane Walsh will get you.
And then Rick became Shane.
And Rick is now Shane. You can't just be the good guy and expect to live. Not anymore.
Rick.
Shane Walsh. 1 for 4. We'll allow it.
I suck at this.
Rick, you can't just be the good guy and expect to live, okay? Not anymore.
Ooh, that sounds like Shane. Is that Shane?
The perfect score, the first perfect score of the night, goes to Father Gabriel.
That's Shane.
Shane, 4 for 4.
I think that's Shane.
4 for 4. Oh my God.
Rick.
That's a Shane Walsh, and that just goes to
I
show.
was going with Rick because it seemed too obvious.
Say yes. Who said it?
That'd be me.
All right, I'll give you an easy one. The Hilltop stands with Maggie. Who said it? Hey, Jesus. And this has been my tagline for everybody. Sucks, don't it? The moment you realize you don't know but you know your
Me.
Well, man.
But you know, I got that was your emphasis. You did the lean.
Huge thanks to AMC for having us out there in the Walking Dead cast, for being so awesome. Reminder, After the Dead this Sunday night. But first, I wanted to show you guys something. A lot of people didn't get to go to the premiere. They watched it from home. 11 million people watched it from home. That premiere was amazing. There was 5,000 people there. And I got to see the episode in advance, so I knew when some of the big moments were coming. That moment where Rick opened fire on Negan for the first time was amazing and in the Greek Theater. Check this out.
I'm counting. 10, 9, 8, 7.
People went nuts.
Dude, that was like New Year's Eve in Times Square with that countdown.
That was
It was
nuts.
amazing. Again, we were live Sunday night After the Dead. Don't miss it. I promise you don't want to miss it. But now, it's time for my favorite part of the show, guys. Questions, comments, Scott Eastwood concerns. Leave your questions in the comment section because we are live for Comic Book Now, and hit like on our page. Charlie,
Right. So first thing I want to address, because literally everyone is asking about this. I've seen 8 different people at least ask the same question. Where is Janelle?
Man, Janelle's too
Where's
cool
Janelle?
for us, man.
Yeah.
Janelle, she'll be with us on After the Dead next weekend. This Sunday, After the Dead is live from Walker Stalker Con. We hope to have Janelle back on Comic Book Now very, very soon. But she will be with us on After the Dead every Sunday night.
Come on 3 episodes and you're a rock
She's got
star.
some fans. She is a
I'm
rock
getting
star.
replaced. Just don't worry. I'll be out soon, and Janelle will be in this season. It'll be fun.
Janelle is a rock star. I got to give that to her.
She's awesome, and we're excited we're going to have her back. Jess Batista, real quick. I appreciate, Jess, you're always commenting, but this comment, saw Thor last night, hard 10.
Hard
Jess
10.
Batista, hard 10.
I respect that. Jess, don't give me any spoilers. I haven't even seen it yet. I'll see Justice League very soon, though. I'm just going to say that. I'll see Justice League very, very soon.
You never do cool stuff.
Never.
All right, if I butcher this name, I apologize. Ania Hagales, I'm really sorry if I get that wrong. But they want to know if Thor is a hit, which we think it's going to be. Is there any possibility of a movie with Loki as the main character? What do you think, Brad?
Anna, well, first of all, Anna, thank you for your question. I don't think I've ever seen your name before. Welcome to
I
the
think
show.
we got a couple of those tonight. We got a couple of brand new.
Yeah, awesome.
Brand
I
new
love it.
questions
Welcome to
tonight,
Comic
so-
Book Now. Thank you so much for watching. To answer your question, I'm sorry for my answer. Thank you for watching. I don't think we're going to see a Loki movie.
Yeah.
First, Marvel has a full slate. They have very specific plans, and I also think going forward after Avengers Infinity War, they plan to kind of get away from some of these characters. Like Thor might stick around, which means Loki might,
Yeah.
but I don't think we're going to get a Loki movie.
I didn't think we were going to see Thor after this movie, or at least after Infinity War either. But then there was all that stuff on, if you guys watch Twitter and follow a lot of the MCU people, Taika Waititi and Mark Ruffalo were joking back and forth about announcing a Thor 4. And so I don't know if that's really going to be a thing.
I think of all the
they're
Marvel
joking around,
heroes
but
who
like,
have had 3 movies, which are Captain America, Iron Man, and Thor now,
Yeah.
I think Thor is the most likely to get a 4th movie.
Yeah.
No question.
Tara Hudson just jumped in and asked about a Dora the Explorer movie. That's happening.
Michael Bay is
Well,
producing.
it's a company that's associated with him. It's not fully, but like
The commercial
there
is
is
going to
a-
say from producer Michael Bay.
There is
No
a
question.
Dora the Explorer live action movie. She's a teenager in the movie.
She's gonna get blown
She goes
up.
to live with Diego. I don't know. I don't know what to say about anything anymore. So that's all I've got about that. I'm moving on.
Please do. Please
All right, our pal Rudy, always in the comments. Rudy wants to know. It's a personal question, BD. So if you're ready for Rudy's question, just so you can see it's personal right there. They want to know what Brandon and I, but specifically Brandon, thinks about Scott Eastwood wanting to be the next Logan or Wolverine if they recast him.
Hey, Rudy, great question, man. Thank you. Look at that. BD, he said, what does BD think? What does BD think? Why? I don't know what Scott Eastwood, what? No, I actually think, I got like 2 years ago, when they first announced that Hugh Jackman would be done with Wolverine after Logan, I wrote a story, 5 actors who could replace Hugh Jackman as Wolverine.
Do you remember all 5 of them?
The top of my list was Scott Eastwood. I also had Charlie Hunnam. I had Joel Edgerton.
Joel Edgerton or Taron?
Joel.
Okay.
I also had Taron Egerton.
That's my pick if it's going to happen. Just so
and I don't remember who the 5th one was. He must not have been that good. But Scott Eastwood was at the top of my list. I think he's great for it. He's a little tall, but so is Hugh Jackman. Hugh Jackman is. I'm 6'3". Hugh Jackman is one of so few actors I've met who is just about as tall as me. Most actors are very short, and I know everybody wants a shorter Wolverine to be true to the comics. It doesn't really matter. Movie magic, guys. You can't even tell how tall Hugh Jackman is in the movies. Taron Egerton, though, smaller than Hugh Jackman, maybe like 5'7", 5'8".
That's very young if they're going to do that.
But we got. What's my opinion? I love it. I got to ask Scott Eastwood that during the Pacific Rim Uprising press line at New York Comic Con. There's a photo of it. He wants to play Wolverine, man, and I'm all for it. I think it's a great idea. I think he could do it.
Okay. This is a really interesting question from Roberto Colvard, and we might come back to this, Roberto, next week because with some really maybe digging some numbers with some good answers. But I want to give a little tease this week. Roberto wants to know which studio has had the best year so far. Warner Brothers,
the best year.
Disney,
Disney,
20th Century Fox, and Universal. Universal's been a pretty. They've had some.
Well, 20th Century Fox. If you think about it, 20th Century Fox had Logan. They had War for the Planet of the Apes.
Yeah.
They've had some really. They had The Mountain Between Us, which did all right.
Yeah.
Disney has had Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2.
Yeah, it's hard to go against
They've
Disney.
kind of had Spider-Man: Homecoming. It's a Sony movie as well.
But they also had Beauty and the Beast, which was a dominant performance.
Yeah,
you had,
is that this year?
Yeah, that was in February.
Disney's had a big year. Blumhouse has had a big year. They probably had the biggest ROI.
Universal had Fate of the Furious, which was this year, and that crushed at the box office. So we're going to do some more digging this week with numbers, and we're going to come back to this next week because I think that is a really good point. We always look at like specific franchises and what's doing best.
Yeah.
But I like that looking at studios and seeing kind of who's had the best overall. It's probably going to be Disney, but we're going to dig in.
All those people asking for Janelle, I'm just going to say this: I probably won't be here next week, so that might be you two talking about.
Wherever could you be going?
I don't know.
Okay.
Smash this league.
All right, last question. Here's another new question asker. We've never had a question from Josh Edmonds before, but Josh Edmonds wants to know if in the future we think they'll maybe make a Red Hood movie due to the damaged suit that you can see right there that we saw in Batman vs. Superman. We talked about all those movies that DC has coming out. Red Hood doesn't seem that impossible with all the stuff going on.
Josh, thank you for your question. Welcome to the show. Compliments on the white tux. You looked great.
It looks
prom?
good.
Looked good. I wore a white tux to prom.
I did too.
Nice.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, why not? We just talked about it earlier in the top of the show. 18 movies in development from DC. Red Hood. It seems like they're doing everything, and that's one that fans keep asking for.
Yeah.
But I also feel at the same time, the title Batman Red Hood, like that movie doesn't sell tickets. Like that's not a ticket-selling title. So
Under the Red Hood might. I mean, it was a big comic. It was a
it's
really
a big
animated
comic,
film.
But hold on, let me put this in perspective. A big comic sells 200,000 issues.
Right. No, I understand.
So that's a deep cut for comic book fans, and I'm all for it. I think it could happen. It probably will happen.
I think on the flip side, you can do a Red Hood movie for a little bit cheaper than you can do some of the Aquaman and like Wonder Woman.
This is exactly when those standalone movies come into play.
Yeah, and I've kind of one thing on either side of this. Like, if a movie is going to get announced as in development and get a script and eventually get to an actual film and happen, I think that Red Hood would have a good chance of that because so many fans want it, and it's a story you can really manipulate and do. But on the flip side, that suit that you mentioned, Josh, that's where I get worried because we're entering, and I'm not saying this against anything he's done. I'm not judging his work. I've really liked the DCEU to this point, but we are entering a post-Zack Snyder DCEU. It's not going to be as influenced by him as it has been in the past.
Influenced by him at all.
Yeah, and before it was really his creation. I mean, everything was coming from his mind, and so the things that you saw in BVS, some of the hints that you got, I don't know if they're going to stand up going forward. I don't know if we're going to see all those things come to realization going forward. They could do it. Obviously, people are asking for it. I would love to see a Red Hood movie, but I don't know if they're going to take straight from that suit or if they're going to do it more of a standalone kind of thing if they do it.
Only time will tell, guys. Thank you so much for watching Comic Book Nation. We do this every Thursday. Make sure you click like on our Comic Book Now Facebook page and share it with your friends because we like to do cool stuff and take you with us. On behalf of Charlie Ridgely, I'm Brandon Davis. Big shout out to Adam Frost. We'll see you next week.
Around here, the early bird gets the Eggo, loser.
Lego, my Eggo.
Freaking waffles! There's a whole box of them! Look at my brain!
Eggo waffles from Kellogg.